Hafa Guam and KUM fans all over the world. I'm Jason Salas, and happy Friday morning, and thank you for starting your day the KUM way. This is Fit AF, the live stream with the coolest name on the internet. Fitness and fun, of course. And I got two of my friends with me. I've got the guys here at Unified Fitness, Caleb Barreto. Long time, man.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Okay, working hard, obviously, and doing very, very successful with the gym.
Things are going great, and just really appreciate the impact that the community has with the gyms. So we work hand in hand, and we try to bring services and products out to them that they can use in their day-to-day lifestyles.
Okay, we are really going to deep dive into this, but of course we bring in the man, the myth, the legend himself. You know, from the running community. I know him from telecom and everything like that. But you're also doing things with fitness gear, and you've really contributed to the island in very positive ways in that regard.
That's correct. My wife actually, who owns the brand Guam Fit, you know, she took a look and said, hey, you know, there are no really cute running or cycling gear on Guam specific for women. And so she decided to design it, and I'm just an employee, product tester. You know, I provide all the technical specs, and you know, she's the boss.
Okay, you are the spouse. She truly is the one who runs the ship.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so we are going to get you guys ready for the United Guam Marathon, which of course comes up in April. Really big event. It is the most grandiose running event. These two gentlemen have a lot of experience in the running community, but I want to talk about this like endurance program that you have, because it's kind of like, is indoctrination the right word? A run up, you know, pardon the pun, as getting ready for the UGM?
Yeah, you could frame it at that, that it is a run up to UGM. Basically, it's a program that Topher and Caleb here at Unified put together. And there was interest in not only the membership here at Unified, but also, you know, within the community to say, you know what, I want to do UGM. I want to do either one of the 5K, 10K, half marathon, or even the marathon, but I don't know what I need to do besides run. And so Topher, Caleb, myself, and Leven Camacho got together, and we put together a program. And so we kicked off that program last year, and it was really successful. We had, you know, at least 30 people come out. They went through our 12-week training process, and a few of them actually had PRs or personal bests, you know, at UGM. And so with the success of our, you know, freshman year, we decided to go ahead and do it again this year. And so the interest was even, you know, larger. And so it's just something that we wanted to give back to the community, to have a free program so that we put some structure to their running goals, and then hopefully at the end of the race, you know, they feel that they can complete, or they feel empowered to complete whatever goal distance that they set forth. Okay,
so there's another Fit AF. This show is fitness and fun. Dave's just talking about fitness absolutely free.
Absolutely free. Absolutely.
I like that. Okay, so Caleb, I wanted to ask, and Dave, we're going to get back to you and talk about some of the, you know, the clothing and, you know, some of the gear you use like to get ready for like a marathon. But Caleb, it's interesting because this is a like a CrossFit gym, and you guys do a variety of things. But when people want to get ready for like a race, people have a tendency to naively think, okay, like racers, they're very, very lanky, they're very skinny because, you know, they're very aerodynamic and everything like that. How does CrossFit actually lend to getting you ready for an extended road race?
Well, CrossFit or functional fitness, whatever you want to call it, the basis behind the program is exposing people to different stressors, so that way they build tolerance to certain, you know, fatigue or discomfort. And it's more so trying to prepare you for what they call the unknown or the unknowable. And so we expose you to strength training and conditioning elements. With strength training or resistance training, it helps to build stronger muscles and ligaments to support your joints, so that way you can push higher intensities or higher frequencies of training. With conditioning or energy system training, there's different realms of the fueling process. And what we do is we set a good foundation so that you have a high recovery rate or you're less prone to injuries. So when you do join a sport-specific program like our Endurance Club, Dave and Leven, they can work on the specifics of running that are, you know, specific to the sport. Strides, pace, you know, game plan, strategies, how to prep for the event, because in any sport there's a lot of factors that go into whether it's emotional or physical. You know, they're the specialists of that, and that's where they take over.
Yeah, a lot of people I know, again, they tend to think, okay, if I need to get ready for a race and I haven't done this kind of thing before, I just need to work on my quads, my calves, and my lungs. Certainly, it goes a lot deeper than that.
Absolutely. What we try to help people build is a balance of muscle stimulus. So a lot of people complain about like knee pains, whether it's running, playing soccer, and that's just because they're very, for lack of a better term, quad dominant. So here, knowing that they're going to be doing long runs or high pace running, whatever it may be, we try to give it a little bit more love to the hamstring. That way, when they go and do these certain training activities, we can hopefully avoid the knee or the hip pain.
Oh, okay. Okay, so since we're in the gym, can we take a look like around? We're talking about gear and everything. Like, what are some of the maybe some of the apparatus? Is it apparatuses or apparati?
Implements, I call them.
Okay, that even works even better. Like some of the equipment, let's say, that you actually use to get people ready for essentially endurance races, and and what should they be thinking if they want to come check you guys out and tackle some of this gear?
Well, as far as endurance is concerned, we want to be able to get them exercising the appropriate muscle groups, moving them properly and then frequently. So something like kettlebells, having them doing a lot of bending activities, swinging the kettlebell, will get your glutes fired up, your hamstrings fired up. Your hip extension goes a long way in providing, your strides. Something like plyometrics, where you're practicing your acceleration or your deceleration, jumping off of the boxes, all the way to doing some plyometrics with just body weight, like push-ups or even burpees. They have their own components to it, because if you look at it, it's all about stress management. It's a long race if you're running the marathon, and how can you cope with either mental stress or physical stress? And I guess, for me, I'm not much of a runner. I'm a soccer player, so I run fast, short distances. So there's not a lot to think about in that short amount of time. But when I do my long pieces, it's a mental game, and I'm thinking about, oh, my quads are starting to hurt, or my legs, my hamstrings are starting to burn. Improving everyone's tolerance through different forms of energy system training is the key. I believe is key to helping them improve their tolerance.
Now that's something I want to talk about, because okay, you're a soccer player, you're training runners. I grew up playing volleyball, so for us, it was all about quick twitch muscles. I need instant burst. I need to be able to jump, repeatedly, but it's only for like a split second and everything. You're dealing with runners. You're talking about somebody having strength and conditioning for possibly 2.5, 3, 4 hours at a time.
Well, the training protocol for them would try and get them strong. So we would do like certain weightlifting protocols, so that way their muscles have a little bit more longevity. After that, we do that way in advance, and then we transition them into lighter loads where we're not training the fast twitch. We want them training the longer duration, slower twitch. And so at that point, we move away from a structured weightlifting protocol towards more sport specific, where we do less impactful, I guess, exercises like weight training to more body weight style weight training. And that's where our burn classes are popular for. You can often see them running around ITC parking lot, down Marine Drive, coming back in here, jumping on one of our rowers. So it's more them conditioning their cardiovascular system.
Okay, we'll come back to you in like a little bit, but let's bring in Dave again. So Dave, when it comes to the actual materials used for the products that you offer from Guam Fit, obviously you want clothing that is going to be tight yet loose. If that even works, you want it to breathe. You want it to be light, but also durable. And I'm thinking, just because on Guam we get these weird rainstorms that come out of nowhere. They last for 2 minutes, and then it goes back to being hot. You might be a little bit cold and everything like that. So what goes through your mind when you're actually putting together a design? And your wife?
Well, she's the creative designer, right? So she wants to make sure that it's pleasing to the eye, especially for females, right? They want to make sure the colors are pleasing, depending upon the time of year. Like we were talking about earlier, it could be hot pink because right around October, it could be breast cancer awareness. So she wants to be able to showcase the hot pink. But they're also, in terms of the design and colors, you want to make sure it complements the shape and the form. So she makes sure that all that is in place to make sure that women look as shapely as possible, right? You don't want the love handles or the muffin top to show. If there is love handles or muffin top.
There are probably dudes out there
Right?
that are into that kind of
Right?
thing, but
And
you know,
so
that's
you
that's a
want-
completely different live stream.
Absolutely. We could talk about that later, but yeah.
That's after 10 p.m.
So, but from a technical perspective, to answer your question, Guam's humidity and heat play a very huge factor in cooling of the body, right? And so you want to wear something that allows the sweat to cool the body, but at the same time allow the moisture to whisk away from the body and to drain off the body so that it allows more function, right? You also want to make sure, you mentioned compression, right? Tightness. You want to make sure it's tight enough so that you don't have any chafing in certain areas. I mean, as runners, I have experience of chafing where people would chafe underneath the arm because the fabric was too loose and they start scraping against the side of the rib cage, or specifically with male runners, believe it or not, there's the bleeding of the nipples. I know it sounds kind of ouch, very painful, but you've seen runners time and time again who wear cotton fabric shirts. They go out for a long run, they come back, and they realize that their nipples are bleeding. So we got to take all that into consideration because of the fact that if you're going to do anything longer than a 10K or 6 miles, right, then you're going to put your body through certain types of movements that you want to ensure that the fabric and what you're wearing is going to complement those movements.
Well, I would assume it would serve a functional purpose as well, because with the colors and not only is there aesthetic appeal, but because we run on Guam typically very early in the morning, you also want to have like reflective material, so no one will wind up running out into traffic or something like that, or I should say being spotted. They can be spotted.
That's a great point. And safety is always of a concern. And so, you want to have bright colors, and there are certain materials that you can add to the fabric or to the clothing, whether it's a running singlet or a bike jersey, that will provide that type of reflection so that when light is hit, it'll show a kind of like a brightness so the cars can know, okay, there's someone on the road and they need to veer away.
Okay, by the way, I've been broadcasting for 20 years. Never in my career have I ever thought we'd be talking about
Bloody nipples?
Bloody nipple. Chafing. His words, not mine. It's just achievement unlocked. Okay, so Caleb, in this partnership that you have with Dave and everything, obviously you're test marketing like a lot of the designs to see like how roadworthy and run-worthy they are with actual athletes and everything. But what have you learned as a coach and as a practitioner of fitness in putting this program together? And I'm sure you're always evolving it. You're changing things up just to make sure that you provide optimum value for your clients.
Absolutely. Although the course stays the same every year, what we do as far as fitness or exercise, sometimes we figure out new ways to achieve things, and sometimes we don't. And trying to design a program that's for everyone, that's the tough part, because this is a free program. It's coming from all walks of life. So I believe this year we have the most diversified group. My mom joined the group, and this is her first time going to be doing any kind of like long distance running.
Very nice.
And we encourage her to do it because not only is all her friends, all the girlfriends and the ladies doing it, but ever since we opened the gym, she's found a passion for fitness, something that I've been passionate about, and now something that she's learning about. So we kind of switched roles. And so seeing her go out there looking forward to going running is something that's very new to me. And I asked her about her experiences. She goes, yeah, Dave just told me run 15 minutes out and 15 minutes back, and it feels good. And because she gets to finish when everybody else is finishing, or she doesn't feel like everybody's waiting for her, she has that same runner's high that everybody's experiencing.
Okay, so I just thought about something since you were mentioning your mom. Is this program structured? Do you have different tiers and different rules for different age groups? Because I'm sure at some point they're going to be middle school kids, even younger children, and you might have some some manumko who want to just get in shape and possibly even train for the UGM.
We try not to create a bias around it. We want to open, because I believe exercise and fitness is for everyone.
Sure.
But in the realms of specificity as far as training, I leave that to Dave as far as giving the knowledge behind what's appropriate and what are good goals to set. Because what I found working with former athletes versus new athletes, former athletes who have a strong mindset but their body fell out of shape, those are hard to work with because they want to go, but their body's saying no, no, no. And that's where we run into some injuries, and that's where the magic of having a coach comes into play, because he sets the plan, he communicates the vision of the plan to meet the goal, And so when you're talking on the same wavelength and you're communicating with the same language, you know, it's an orchestra, you know, and that's the beauty of the coach-athlete relationship. Now, for the person who's coming straight off the couch, not having run experience, that's my favorite person because they don't have any bad habits that I have to fix. Now, in terms of running, you know, a lot of it is if they're overweight, you know, suggesting something like accessory low-impact training, like on a rower or a stationary bike, just to get the heart rate up, get used to moving for a certain amount of time versus including some volume. So I believe that everybody can do it, everybody should do it, but to the extent of like training intensities, Dave's the man to, you know, help advise that.
Man, it's a love fest here. Obviously, it's a very fruitful partnership between the two of you.
Well, I mean, I make a joke about, you know, because Levin's also our co-coach, and I said it's
Attorney General. Shout out to Levin.
Our Attorney General, yeah, and I said it's a bromance like no other, right? Because, you know, we complement each other in terms of our experiences as well as making sure that we take into consideration other aspects. Because as Caleb mentioned, you know, there are those, you know, seasoned athletes who, all right, I have a time that I want to meet and I need someone to put a structure together. And then we have the recreational runners that, you know what, I don't need all this, you know, extra testosterone or hype. I just want to have fun. And so we all feed off each other and say, hey, we need to make it fun. We need to make sure that, you know, it's a solution and it's programming that's specific to anybody. You know, so if someone, they see the word free and they want to come out and try it, but they don't have any experience in running, they can experience it and without, you know, too much pressure. It's just, you know, the camaraderie of the running community, you know, is huge here on Guam. I mean, you can go to any weekend 5K and you can have hundreds, even close to thousands of people who are there for the same reason. And so that's one thing that we wanted to evangelize is that you can come here with like-minded individuals who want to run and be safe because you're running in a group and find people who are similar in skill as well as, you know, maybe running experience, and you can go ahead and run with them because, you know, it's all about having fun. If you don't have fun with it, then chances are people are going to quit or they're going to look for whatever's next that they can have fun with.
Okay, absolutely. So, Caleb, I just want to ask a couple things as we wrap up here. Maybe let's, again, look at some of the gear we have right now because I just thought that you said you work with a lot of athletes who come from other sports that are getting ready for the UGM. Myself, when I've tried to run, because I'm so tall, I've got a very long torso. Whenever I run, my back is always killing me afterwards because, you know, I have to maintain good posture and everything like that. Is that something that's unique to, like, really lanky guys like myself? And what type of exercises could you help me with that I can condition my back for a run? And is the back, like, something you really take into consideration when you're getting people ready for long-distance running? Oh,
absolutely. Your back, where it's located, you're around the midsection, so you refer to it as your core. You know,
so the core is the back too. Most people just think it's like your abs.
Midsection, actually, and so your body has a natural S curve, right? And if you don't support that your bone structure with a tight abdomen, then you're going to lose that natural curve, and that's where one side of the body is going to be working harder than the other, or you're falling into an unnatural position, and that's where discomfort comes from. And so if you're more of a tall, lanky person, and your shoulders start to fall over the top, you sort of lose that lower back or that lower curve, and now you're not in a neutral spine. You know, that's a pretty technical term, but a neutral spine is having that upper curve, there's C-spine present, and that lower curve, your lower lumbar curve present, and supporting that with a strong abdomen. Now, when you're running, you don't want to be extremely tight because you need to be able to breathe, but you should have a strong enough structure that supports it even when you're not trying to brace extremely tight.
So how would you help me, and how would you get my core ready for that kind of race?
We'll start you off with a lot of planking because you're long. This is the weakest.
Oh God, I was hoping you wouldn't say that.
Yeah. So when we put you in a horizontal.
Can we actually try one of those?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Prepare for humiliation is my is my mantra right here. Okay. I'm gonna put the.
So we want to make sure that you can draw a straight line from your shoulders.
Okay.
Through your hips, all the way to the ankles. So we want to raise the knees just a little bit here, right?
If something happens, please tell my family I love them.
So pull your sternum towards your belly button right here, and squeeze your butt really tight. Then we're going to hold that for about 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
I'm just joking. Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back next time.
So
we'll be doing our live stream next from the emergency room.
And this is good form. And what we would do is, over time, progress through more time, or, oh, you can relax.
I'm actually amazed that I can hold this long.
Okay, let's raise the hips if you're going for good form there.
Okay.
All right. Pull your sternum towards the belly button a little bit more. Push your butt up. There you go.
Oscar's laughing at me right now. Okay.
Oh, and then you want to be able to put your hands flat right there.
Oh, it's flat. Okay, not okay. I have learned some. I've learned many things today, and I hope you guys have too. I hope you guys heard that crack in the live stream. So, Matt, thank you guys. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and your passion, obviously, about fitness. How can people contact you guys if they want more information about the endurance program?
Simply, they just need to come to Unified, and they can just reach Caleb or Topher or any one of the staff here at Unified and to let them know that they're interested in the endurance club. And then what we do is we use social media as well as athlete-specific applications that we then put group runs together, where to meet up, what time, and what the prescription of the day is going to be. And yeah, we just communicate that way.
Okay. Any last words, Caleb?
No, just we want to thank Dave and our AG Levin for helping, marry this program together, because when it comes down to it, like I said, I'm more of a soccer player, and trying to advise people in a sport-specific scenario regarding running, it's out of my expertise, and what I try to do is bring in the people who know how to do it so that we can service not only our members, but the entire community.
Okay, so you talk about people reaching their personal best. I'm going to try reaching my personal best with one more plank. So thank you guys for watching and for streaming us. Thank you for starting your day the KUM way. I'm Jason Salas, and we will see you next time on Fit AF. Make sure to check these guys out. They are awesome. And don't talk while you plank, because it's extremely hard. So.